How can you use OmniFocus to keep track of tasks you delegate to other people? Let's cover that in this video. Hey folks, my name is Peter Uckes, and I help people like you to be more organized and to be more productive using project-based task managers such as OmniFocus. Now, one of the questions that I get a lot is, how can I use OmniFocus to keep track of tasks that I want other people to do? So perhaps that's tasks that you're delegating to some of your team members, or tasks that you're delegating to your employees if you have a small business. OmniFocus is not designed to be used to manage other people's tasks, but there is a way to do it, and I'll show you in this video how. Just a little bit more about me. Again, my name is Peter Uckes. I have created a full course on using OmniFocus. It's called How to Set Up and Use OmniFocus 3 to Get Stuff Done. You can check out some free videos, free previews of course videos, and the link to that is all in the description below this video. So if you want to learn more about OmniFocus, definitely do check that out. But in this video, let's jump into how to manage a limited number of tasks that you're delegating to other people using OmniFocus. All right, let's set up OmniFocus to be able to keep track of tasks for other people in your team. And the example that I'm going to use is that of a small business owner who has some employees and wants to keep track of some of the things that his or her employees should do. So I've got my OmniFocus opened up here. I've created a demonstration projects folder, and it has two single action lists and a parallel project. Let me just go through those just so you can see the scenario. I've set up a business admin single action list, and I have a task there which is for Jason to order a new thingamajig. So this is not a task that I, the business owner, want to do, but I want to outsource this task to Jason. I've also got a single action list to keep track of leads. So if people want to hire my company, my business, to do a little project for them, a little thing, and they inquire about a project, then I consider that a lead, and I want to keep track of leads. Some of them I'm going to follow up myself. Some of them I want someone else, one of my employees, to follow up with. So for example, let's say I want Liz to follow up with Bob Ross's inquiry, Mark to follow up with Rowan Atkins's inquiry, but I'm going to follow up with the inquiries of Barack Obama, Mark Twain, and Shania Twain. I've also got a parallel project over here, which is one with a defined outcome. I want to hire an in-house designer for my little business. So there's going to be a bunch of tasks to this project, but I've only just created one for now, and that is that I want Jason to put up the job listing, because we're going to put out a job listing and have people apply. So that's the setting here. Now, a key thing is in OmniFocus, you want to be able to see at a glance what are the tasks that are available for you to work on, right? But if we're going to add this layer of complexity, and make no mistake, this is an advanced video, so if you're not yet using OmniFocus very consistently or efficiently, I would suggest focusing on the basics first and then coming back to this. But if you want to do this advanced thing, also keeping track of some of the tasks that you want others to do, perhaps people in your team, like in this case in a small business, then what we want to do is not have those tasks get in the way of you being able to see what you can do. Okay, here's how we're going to do that. Step number one is we're going to go over to the tags perspective. And now I've collapsed all of my own tags under Peter's tags just not to confuse you. Create a new tag, and we're going to call it Delegate. Delegate. Okay. And under this Delegate tag, we're going to create sub-tags for each of your employees, for all the people in your team that you want to keep track, whose tasks you want to keep track of. I'm going to create a new tag. I'm going to call it Mark, because I got a Mark set up in my example projects, a Jason, and and a Liz. And I'm just going to select all of those and drag them under Delegate like that. So now these are sub tags. If I click Delegate, you'll see that I currently don't have any tasks that have these tags assigned. So let's go and do that. Go back to projects. And Jason to put up the job listing. So that is a task for Jason. So just type Jason here, hit enter. Okay. Under leads, Liz was going to do this, so I'll assign the Liz tag. Mark was going to do this, so I'll assign the Mark tag. These are tasks for me, so I'm not going to assign any of those tags. And under business admin, Jason was going to do this, so I'll assign the Jason tag. Okay. So now if I go to the tags perspective, I can click on delegate, on the parent delegate tag, and I'll see that per person, I can see all the tasks that I want people to do. So I can see the tasks that I want Mark to do, the tasks that I want Jason to do, and the tasks that I want Liz to do. This is handy. But if I go over to my available perspective, which shows all of the tasks that are available for me to work on, or which should show that, I'll see that actually these tasks that other people can work on are showing as available for me to work on. And when you are deciding what to work on today, it really helps to have as focused, as short of a list as possible to choose from. If you've got, okay, let's say you've got 60 tasks in your OmniFocus that you could work on, plus 70 tasks in your OmniFocus that you want your employees to do. That's a total of 130 tasks. How are you going to go through in the morning or the night before 130 tasks and see, oh, which ones am I going to work on today or tomorrow, right? That's really hard to pick from such a long list. And in fact, 60 is very long already. So what we want to do is, in this available perspective, not show the things that are marked for other people. And so we're going to do that by selecting the delegate tag over here and just setting the status to on hold. Now, the first thing we'll notice is when we go back to projects, we actually have to set these individual ones to on hold. If I go to, so again, just to show you, select a tag, set the status to on hold. Select the tag, set the status on hold. I did that for all of them just now. Okay, so if I go back to projects, now you'll see that these tasks are grayed out. That's because what this option does is set any tasks that have this tag, set the status of that task to on hold. And so they'll show as grayed out here. And so in your available perspective, they won't show. If you go to show perspectives and under your available perspective, you've selected availability available, because a task that is on hold is not available for you to work on. So it won't show. So this means that when you're using your available perspective, for example, in the morning to decide what you're going to work on today, you won't see all of those things that you've set up for other people to work on. Now, it is handy to set up a separate perspective, though, that you can use to see all at once all of the things that you've delegated to other people. So let's set up a perspective to do exactly that. I go to perspectives, show perspective, and I've already got one set up right here, and I've called it delegated. Now I've picked a nice icon for it, by the way. There's a guy called Josh Hughes who made a nice icon set for OmniFocus. I'll show you. There's a whole lot of icons right here that you can just select one from, and I'll put the link to that icon set in the comments. So I've called this perspective delegated, and here's how I set it up. I set up two filter rules. First of all, I want to show all the tasks with availability remaining. So not not available, right? Just remaining to do. I don't want to show completed tasks, for example. And I said I want it to be tagged with any of. And so I'm going to select a tag here, and I'm going to choose that delegate tag, the parent tag. And if I do that, I'm going to see here, I'm not in this perspective right now. We'll see that in a second. And I'm setting the presentation to group and sort entire projects so that the things you're looking at are grouped by project. So I'm just going to click the star over here so that the perspective will show up in my OmniFocus left sidebar. Close this and go over to the delegated perspective. And now I'll see all of the tasks sorted or grouped by project and sorted as well by project that I've delegated to other people, to Jason, Liz, and Mark. So I find this a really handy way look at what my employees, me being the boss, what my employees need to do and what I'm keeping track of. And of course, once Jason puts up the job listing, all you got to do is just check off that task, right? So that's the basics of it. Now, how do you want to keep track of these things that you want other people to do? I suggest having projects as usual. So having a hire an in-house designer, maybe there's some things for you to do in here as well, right? Maybe there is a review Jason's job listing task, which is something for you to do. And in fact, perhaps then this is a sequential project. Although if we make it a sequential project, no, I guess that works in this case. So once Jason puts up the job listing, you check it off, and this task becomes available for you to work on. So I suggest having other people's tasks in the same project as your own tasks. You could create separate single action lists for sort of like things that you're delegating to your employees or to your team. That's a fine way to do it, but I actually really like to do it this way. And so now the workflow for you to decide what to work on every day is simply to go to your available perspective, see which things are available for you to work on. In my case, that's to follow up with these 3 people. So you might say, all right, I'm going to do this one today. I like to use the next tag, so I'll just assign the next tag. And then under my forecast perspective, under today, I'll see this thing that I'm going to work on today. Hey, so that's the basics of how you can use OmniFocus to keep track of tasks that you want to delegate, whether that's to people in your team or to people who might be your employees if you got your own business or something like that. All right, I hope you found that useful, this explanation of how you can use OmniFocus to manage tasks that you're delegating to other people. Now, I just want to emphasize again, OmniFocus is not meant for you to keep track of other people's tasks. So while the technique in this video works and you can use it effectively, and other people do use it effectively, I recommend that you only use it if you really have a limited number of tasks that you're delegating to other people and that you want to keep track of. The more people you're delegating tasks to, the bigger or the more intense your cooperation with other people, the more you'll benefit from using a tool which is specifically designed to work with multiple people. A tool such as Basecamp, or maybe even something like an Asana. And I'm aware that a lot of you really like OmniFocus and would like to keep everything in OmniFocus. That's why I shot this video and why I hope it was helpful for you. But just be aware that it is totally allowed to use other software, and you can even use other software in conjunction with OmniFocus. Hey, so that was it for today. As always, would love it if you would give the video a like if you liked it, subscribe to learn more about using OmniFocus, being more productive with OmniFocus. And of course, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't checked out my video course on OmniFocus yet, now is a great time to do so. So check that out. The link is in the description below the video. Hey, have a lovely day. Ciao.